So it's official. We finally here in that order. It has been a long time coming, and I am your girl, Safia Ashe Jasi, aka Fire, because I stay bringing that heat in that order. Yes. So before I get into the meat and potatoes of what this all about, I want to get a shout out to the magical tree right behind me. Like, if it wasn't for this tree, I don't I would have went insane a couple of times. Like, I put in a lot of sweat, blood, and tears, and doing this work, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of like crying, have to pull myself up by the bootstraps, but I'm here. So, oh yeah, a little bit about this tree. So I I really connected with this tree because I have been so lost, been coming out of a deep depression, and I just told the tree I want to go through the process, the experience with you of going through fall, when when the tree shed its leaves and go into winter, which signify the dead season, and as it enters transition into spring, as the rebirth and bloom into something new. And I'm so glad that I went through that process, because let me tell you, my skin looking good, I'm feeling good, I'm standing on my boss chick stuff, so it's real good. So I'm very thankful to all the amazing people that I've been connecting with at the Polsky Entrepreneur Center. It has been very life changing for me. It's is it is helped me learn things. I've been put placed in an environment with people that's more knowledgeable about business than I am. So I just been in the learning process and being like a baby or a toddler and soaking in all that information. Of course, there was times where I put in the pushback, because I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I see how it's working for you, but how can it work for me? Because I'm neurodivergent, and I do things different than a neurotypical person, and I often feel like an alien navigating an inaccessible society with multiple neurological disabilities. I have chronic illness, and I also have some physical challenges. I never really talk about it, but through the 18 plus years that I've been relearning how to enter an inaccessible society as a traumatic brain injury survivor, I never really talk about how the left side of my body has always been semi paralyzed, and it's extremely hard. I be in pain all the time, and but I also been on this journey of realigning my body for the past 6 years, because my pelvis and spine was severely twisted. And so on this journey, I've been battling with like blindness. Like some days like I can see good, and then some days it's a challenge, and then other days it's like non-existent, as well as my hearing. And then other days it be painful for me to talk, like my speech, like I've been improving my speech impediment along this journey, and I can finally say I like the sound of my voice. So yeah, so enough of that. Let's get right into it. So yeah, so it has always been my desire to work in Hollywood. Like ever since like I was a little girl, I imagined the world was my center stage, and I used to perform all the time in my granny basement. My granny was the only living grandparent that I grew up with. She was my world. Bless her soul. And in my mama kitchen. And oftentimes I for a long time I was like mad at my mother, and because I felt like as like a little girl that my dreams weren't properly nurtured. Cause like I always question myself like why, like if like my mom and the rest of my family saw like this passion I had for performing, why wasn't I placed in a situation to be like a child star? But after learning about like um like all the with Hollywood being exposed and what a lot of the child actors had went through, and I tell myself like I have really been protected, because like I don't know where, like if I was to have been in Hollywood from a young age, and knowing the situation of my family history, and like yeah, I don't think I would survive or be like the person that I am today. But another thing that derailed that dream was the life-threatening car accident that I was in. So on November 18, 2004, I was coming home from an after-school program. I used to go to Westcott Elementary School, and it was late. It was probably after 7. Um, I took the AA bus and got off on like 101st and Halsted. And so like I had the light to cross the street. But before I can get to the other side of that street, it was intercepted. A lady ran the red light while talking on the phone, and she hit me, and I flew up in the air, hit the hood of her car, and I flew from 101st to 103rd and Halsted. And I also want to put in the fact that I got hit in front of Gatlin's funeral home. So, and my mom told me that the witness that was there said that I looked like I was a garbage bag flying through the air. And so I sustained severe trauma to the right side of my brain, the frontal lobe. My left collarbone was broken. I had collapsed lungs, a cracked spleen, both my pelvis and tailbone was cracked, and my right leg was like broken, and I was in a coma for 2 months. And like the physical therapist and the doctors actually had to break my leg in order for me to use it, because the left side of my body was already paralyzed. So yeah, And then of course, like after, like, because within 4 months, like I had to learn how to do everything all over again. And within 4 months, I was about walking, talking, doing everything on my own, got back in school. But like there were like a lot of challenges that I had to go through with like continues being placed in special ed classes. After like I took my IEP, it shows that like I was I was like, even though my reading level was on like a second grade, but my math was at a junior level. And so they continued to place me in LD classes. After that, I continued to like prove myself to show that I didn't belong there. And that was the first instance that made me feel like I didn't have like autonomy over who I am, and that people control me, and I didn't have no say so of my liberation or what I wanted for myself. So that has been like finding my voice and finding autonomy, and finding my power has been the greatest challenge in what I had to find and conquer. And I'm still learning about finding my voice and standing firmly in my power. But after I graduated from high school in 2010, I immediately wanted to be involved in the entertainment industry. I first started out modeling and acting, and I was doing everything to make sure that I'm engaging with Chicago entertainment industry. But I I felt robbed from my talent, and because a lot of times, like, I was doing a lot of things for free, walking the runway shows for free. Like, I didn't know the business then, but all I knew is that I had this dream, I had this passion, and I just need to do something creative to help me deal with things that was going on with me that I didn't fully understand then. And and from this, I was doing spoken word, I was modeling, I was trying to act, but I kept hitting dead ends after dead end. And then of course, like, I have experienced times where I felt like I was taken advantage of, I've been scammed, and that led to me being feeling robbed of my talent. And in 2012, my granny, my only living grandparent, had transitioned. Like, it really hit me because like she was like my best friend, and it led to me experiencing one of the worst silent seizures ever in my life, where it led to me being placed in a psych ward, where I was given a pill that caused me to stop having thoughts for over 2+ years, and it disconnected my thoughts from my emotions. And it's just now, like, about 10 years later, that I'm getting more brain function, that I'm finally feeling like what it is to be human, to feel comfortable in my body. So when like right before I was placed in a psych ward, I was literally one semester away from graduating from Truman College. But after I got out of psych ward, I decide like I can't do that. I need to be in a place that can help me get in touch with my creative side and express myself creatively, and to help develop the powerful creative being that I know I am at the core. So like I enrolled at I decided to apply for the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And while I was doing this, and between that and getting out of the psych ward, I fell into a deep depression where I couldn't do nothing but stay in the bed for 6 months straight. All I can do was watch TV. Like I don't like I neglected myself like so much. And it wasn't until I received a letter in the mail telling me that I was accepted into the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And so that really helped me to come out of that deep depression. But of course, like there were things that happened because I almost got kicked out twice, and I experienced some other things. But and it was like also where I was there, I often felt like I was this sad, pitiful Black girl from the South Side of Chicago, because like a lot of my peers at SIC had like opportunities that like I can only dream of. And in the work that I was doing, I felt it didn't match up to the work that my peers was doing. Like, cause I feel like I always wanted to make pretty art, but that didn't that it didn't work out for me. So within my second year at SIC, I took a video art class, and I created this technique and concept of combining storytelling and art together to help create artistic healing experiences for myself. And it was also this technique was also used to help me document my experience as a member of the African diaspora, a woman, and a traumatic brain injury survivor re-entering into an inaccessible society. So I graduated in 2018, and when I graduated, I would start thinking about this technique can help people with like similar experiences as me. But of course, like I hit dead end after dead end. I was trying to learn from all these different business gurus, but it just wasn't sticking for me. And then like after I graduated, I went on numerous like job interviews, but it was like I experienced like this like discrimination against me, because like I strongly advocate for myself because I have a disability that's not instantly visible to the human eye. So like when I'm going to these interviews, I'm telling the employer like, okay, like I have traumatic brain injury, and I also have like silent seizures. And so we need to have the conversation of what can be done so you can properly accommodate for me and my challenges. But once I told them that, it went from this welcomeness to this coldness. And it was like I got to the point where like I'm not doing this no more. I ain't got time. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. Like I know who I am, and I'm not gonna be begging for an opportunity. And so from there, I decided to take matters into my own hand and get serious about growing my business, Blaq Gurl Fya. And so the first opportunity that I had was that um, I became a member of the Digital Story Institute, or DSI. Shout out to the Community Film Workshop in the Logan Art Center. Um, and with this, like I did as I, cause I do experimental film, cause it's cause like it's based off of like my passion, my love for silent films, and mixing it with performance art and conceptual art. So like, and that's what that film was. And really and this experimental film was about how trauma affects Black women through sound and movement. And that was the first step of me going on this journey of really diving deep in exploring how TBI affects me. And from working on that project, I decided to apply to the Three Walls Red Lab Outside the Wall Fellowship, and I got it. And I wanted to finally do a TBI and PTSD awareness campaign, which is something that I always wanted to do ever since I graduated from high school. But it never happened because the appropriate tools and resources wasn't there to help me do it, because like there's no notable disability tools or resources or organizations on the south side Chicago. They all located up north or downtown. And so like within this project, it was my goal to like talk about like medical racism and how TBI affects Black and Brown people in under disadvantaged neighborhoods, and to really start having a conversation about medical racism. And from doing the first year and from doing that, I found out that a lot of people don't know what TBI is. So it was a lot of educating, and people was very excited to learn about TBI. And there was even a couple people thinking about, as like I'm explaining, it was like, what, wait, I might have TBI. So like that was a good like conversation, but it was very hard of getting people being a part of this campaign, because like to be in the face of a TBI and PTSD awareness campaign, because like this conversation that as society, as a collective, is having about mental health and self-care is fairly new. Because I remember back in 2004, like these wasn't the type of conversations that was being had, because like a lot of times I felt the need to hide, to camouflage, to make sure that I seem like an able bodied person or a neurotypical person. And this is the main reason why I distance myself from the disability community, because I seen how people treated people with physical disability like they helpless, like they nothing. And I didn't want to be treated like that. So I distanced myself. But I found it extremely hard and very sad and lonely trying to navigate the world as an able-bodied and neurotypical person. And for a long time, it's like I did an 18-year prison sentence, because like that's what it felt like with being an 18-year plus traumatic brain injury survivor. Because like there were times where it felt like I was a walking zombie, like I was like a corpse grasping for air, wanting and pleading to be a part of society. And it was like, and I felt isolated, like I was like I was an alien, like I didn't belong. Every time where I try to fit in or connect with people, it didn't work that way. And I started questioning myself, like, what is it about me? Because I seen the same other people, they get along and they connecting with other people. With me, it don't happen that way. So, and from that, I came up with the idea of doing the I Am event series, Disability, Art, Life, and Culture, which included with the objectives of bringing, to start the process of bringing disability awareness inclusion to the south side of Chicago, because the south side is so inaccessible. I had to move because, like, the first place that I was staying in South Shore, I was faced with like housing discrimination, disability discrimination, and now I'm staying in Hyde Park. I'm dealing with the same thing over and over again. So, like, that's very important. It's a long ways that needs to go in doing this work, but I will continue to strongly advocate that disability awareness inclusion is so vital for the south side of Chicago, because people on the south side that's disabled, we feel isolated, we don't feel included. And there's so many things that's inaccessible, and it's just crazy. um and another objective is to start teaching BIPOC people with disabilities how to use their skills, how to use their talent, skills, and creativity to create opportunities for themselves. Because, like, for people with disability, the poverty level is high, the unemployment is high, the lack of education is high, and the fact that, like, SSI be on some BS, thinking that people with disability can survive off of $700 a month with the constant inflation going up. And then the minute, like, you get a job, they try to cut you off or find any ways to tell you, like, you don't qualify for SSI. Because I know, in, like, right when, like the pandemic happened, I had reapplied for SSI because they took me off in 2016 because they said my mother made too much, and I had this back pay. I had to pay them back over $20,000. And then, so, like, I had tried to reply in, like, 2019, 2020, and they told me, according to their standards, that they don't deem me as disabled. And I'm just flabbergasted. Like, are y'all freaking serious? But because that happened, that lit a fire under me to do what I need to do, and just keep going to build, to attain this vision of success that I have for myself. And I had tunnel vision, which put me in a position where I didn't pay attention to a lot of things of how people treat me and stuff. I get to that later. Yeah, but another thing, another objective for the I Am event series, Disability, Art, Life, and Culture, is to start properly document disability, art, life, and culture through the Black disabled lens. Because, like, the Black disabled present is often erased from disability history, and the fact that the Black disabled people that helped establish the legislation for the ADA is erased, and the fact that a lot of components come from the work that the Black Panther Party did, as in, like, the free breakfast, and they also get influence from the civil rights movement, and like that history is erased. So I wanted to take upon myself to like properly document it through the Black disabled lens. And my last objective um, was to help elevate disability, art, life, and culture to the same level as the LGBTQ community, because a lot of time when disability is being talked about, it's often talked about from this perspective, this duh and gray perspective, or a lot of times we only talk about it for the accommodations or the medical aspects or the injustice. And I want to find like where's the joy and magic and disability culture? Like, where is all my boss disabled Black people doing amazing things that's bossing up, that don't care what nobody got to say? Where they at? Because I need to find y'all, because we need to take the world by storm, because we can't wait for people to give us opportunity, because like able-bodied people and neurotypical people view disability as like the scum of the earth, or like is the worst thing to ever happen. But to be honest, like a lot of people are becoming disabled due to COVID-19, from gunshots, from falling, from freak accidents. So it's important that disability identity and culture be raised to the next level, because anybody can become a part of the disability community at any time. And then y'all turn your nose up at people with disability until you become a part of the community. And so the deliverables of the I Am event series, Disability, Art, Love, and Culture, was a disability resource guide that I co-authored with TJ Gordon. Shout out to TJ. He doing dope stuff. And we created this resource guide from the Black disabled perspective. And I also created a beta app where I spent $8,000 on for only 2 people to use. But this app was like dedicated to building like a community for BIPOC disabled people, and was like an alternative to social media, because all the time while we on social media, we are being bombarded with negativity, with people dismissing each other's feelings and stuff. And so I wanted to create this digital space, this like digital healing sanctuary, where we can have the tough conversations, where we can all build community, where we all are learning how to become more mentally, spiritually, and emotionally more mature, while engaging in conversations regarding mental health, disability, and just knowing that it's okay for us to disagree, because we all are different, and that's what makes the world go round. And we all not gonna think the same. And then I did a disability expo, where I really was taking the first step of teaching BIPOC people with disabilities how to use their skills and talents to create opportunities for themselves. But while doing this work, in doing research, I found out that Black disabled people living in America have a very unique experience from any other ethnic disabled group. And I wanted to build community with other BIPOC people, but I ran into some situation with like other people of color, and it's kind of like nah, I gotta do this for my Black people. And then I also experienced things with Black disabled men. I'm like, no, I need to uplift my Black disabled women. And then I had to go to like thinking about no, it's time that I be very specific and focus on neurodivergent Black women who are filmmakers or people, neurodivergent Black women that have an interest of working in the film industry. So that bring me to the point that Blaq Gurl Fya is developing the first ever neurodivergent focused social media production company. And um like yeah. So like in this time I think it's like so important for neurodivergent Black women. It's time for us to start unmasking and be our unapologetic self and take up space no matter what the naysayers say. Because, like, on my journey of unmasking, because it took me getting this art fellowship, doing this TBI and PTSD awareness campaign to realize how much I overcompensate, how much like I mask, and how much pressure I put on myself. And I had to realize that like I have multiple neurological disabilities, plus chronic illness and physical ailments. And I'm trying to be superwoman and put the world on my back. But who got my back? So like, so like, like it's still like a journey on itself as I'm unmasking, because there has been situations where I could turn up, but I'm learning come to the place where like I'm not arguing with nobody. Like who I am is enough, and I don't need to prove myself, prove my worth, or validate myself to somebody else so they feel comfortable around me. I'm not doing it no more. So yeah, I I, I don't know what this the next thing I want to talk about. I don't know. What do I want to talk about with CM? Well, I don't know. But so I'm gonna go on. Now is the time to screen the film Welcome to Our Healing Sanctuary in that order. Okay, here we go. Welcome to this black space. I welcome you to experience my inner thoughts. I welcome you to experience the thought process of a traumatic brain injury survivor who also have ADHD and PTSD. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A black screen is the vessel that symbolizes the mind. The imagery scrolling up the screen represents memories, rapid thoughts, experiences, nightmares, dreams, and peace. About 8 million people have post-traumatic stress disorder in a given year. Medical racism is so real. Medical racism is so real. About 2.87 million Americans sustain a traumatic brain injury each year. Who's talking about TBI and PTSD in the Black community? How many people in the Black community even know the signs and symptoms of TBI and PTSD? Better yet, how many people in the Black community even know what healing through art looks like? Join two Black women as they share their experiences with TBI and PTSD, as they break down the walls of mental imprisonment, as they heal through art, and as they invite you to join the healing sanctuary. Have you ever felt unheard?
Have you ever felt alone in a crowd?
Have you ever
felt misunderstood. Welcome to our healing sanctuary.
Welcome to our healing sanctuary, where we learn to heal through art.
Where we learn to heal through art, and we learn to heal through storytelling, and we learn to heal
through healing practices. You are free to be your true self.
You are free to be your true self. Now breathe in and breathe out.
Welcome to our healing sanctuary.
Welcome to our healing sanctuary.
Mama nature, 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 nature. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for reminding me to just be.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
Together, we are stronger.
Together, we are stronger.
Do you know what TBI is?
Do you know what PTSD is?
Art saved my life.
Medical racism is so real. When I got shot on the left side of my head, October of 2018, I was hospitalized for about a month. During that time, I experienced some very questionable behavior from the hospital. I had one doctor tell me that she doesn't think I will be able to afford therapy. Another doctor told me that she didn't understand why I was smiling and I was happy to be healing. I had other staff that strapped me down at night, which they said was for my protection. But none of these doctors or nurses ever told me about traumatic brain injuries, what they are, what they mean, and how they would affect me.
70% of adults experience at least one traumatic event in their lifetime. 20% of people who experience a traumatic event will develop PTSD. About 8 million people have PTSD in a given year.
1 in 13 people will develop PTSD at some point in their life.
About 2.87 million Americans sustain a TBI each year.
About 288,000 Americans are hospitalized each year from TBI-related injuries.
About 56,000 Americans die each year from TBI-related injuries.
Who gets TBI?
Who gets PTSD?
They say anyone can get it, but mostly white survivors are seen.
Do I look like I have it? You can't see the way TBI and PTSD affects me. It's hidden from others. Others can't see the struggles, pain, and challenges I battle with every minute of the day. November 18th, 2004.
October 22nd, 2018.
It was raining and raging at me like a madman. I was coming home from an after-school program. I got off the bus, crossed the street, and the cross was intercepted.
It was midnight, a full moon, a light breeze, and clear skies. Then I was shot.
I
had to start over.
Art saved my life.
I had to keep shining my light.
I had to create.
I had to be in a space of forgiveness.
I had to evolve.
I had to be okay with not having all of the answers.
I had to transform.
I had to learn to heal again.
I had to reinvent myself.
I had to learn to live again. I had to learn to be vulnerable enough to ask for help.
And I just had to learn how to just be.
I am courageous. I am art. I am unconditional love. I am here on purpose.
I am bold. I am a phenomenal Black woman. I live and operate in self-harmony.
Be free to try something new.
Be free to express your truth.
Be free to connect.
Feel free to be. Just be. Healing is all about being reborn and rediscovering who you are at the core.
Um, so yeah. Okay, I want to touch on a little bit about like how about um some aspects of the film and who was involved in working with it. So the other young lady in the video with me, she was actually a part of the project, the film that I did when I was a cohort member of DSI Digital Story Institute. Shout out once again to the Community Film Workshop and the Logan Arts Center. So, like again, I am an experimental filmmaker, and that project was called The Journey, which is about how trauma affects Black women through sound and movement. And so, an aspect in this film, I talk about my experience with TBI, and she also have like TBI. So there's a story behind that, of how, because I dare reach out to her because I know my personal experience that like after the incident or what happened to her, she probably like the doctors probably didn't tell her that she had TBI or what TBI is, because like I have countless stories of when it felt like my brain was going to explode outside my brain, and my mom rushed me to the ER room, and of course waiting 5 to 8 hours in the ER room, where it feels like my body is like I'm finna like die. And of course, once I get like a bed, they take MRIs or CAT scans, and then they say like, "Oh, we didn't find nothing. There's nothing wrong with you. You free to go home." And the fact that still to this day, doctors in the medical system and professionals don't know much about traumatic brain injury or like what it is, because like for me, I haven't taken any medication since like the third or fourth year after waking up from a 2 month coma, because I didn't like how the medication made me feel. And once I was in that psych ward and they gave me that pill that forced me to stop having thoughts for over 2 plus years and disconnecting my thoughts from my emotion, I'm like, I'm not messing with the medical industry. And I just lost my trust. And from there, I try my best. It's easier said than done to eat a plant based diet, because processed food really mess with my system, and to exercise regularly, to be out in nature. I use emeralds and different gemstones, but emerald in particular, because like emeralds are known to help heal and help with the nervous system, and it rid toxins from the body. So that's really been helping me, and really being an artist or being a creative being, which really helped me to develop more brain function. So going back to the other young lady in the film. So I actually had the art fellowship with her, but after the first year, I'm like, yeah, I can't do this, because I quickly learned that I didn't have any standards or boundaries, and that I needed to quickly find me some and distance myself from her. So that was like a very like challenging thing, but it forced me to grow up and to love myself and value myself more. And a lot of other things that's been happening that really been like testing me and testing my cool, because I have come a long way from what I used to be, because I have a lot. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, I've come a long way, but from that situation, it didn't break me. It only made me better, and it taught me a lot about myself, what I need to improve to be better within myself. So So, and now I want to talk about some of the success that I have with Welcome to Our Healing Sanctuary. So, the first part of this film, because I actually entered the first part of this film into multiple film festivals. But of course, I didn't get it because I know I'm an experimental filmmaker and people ain't ready for the heat that I'm going. And I know this film is innovative and experimental and it's taking the film industry by storm. So they ain't ready for the heat that I get, but it is what it is. But I did manage to get it, the first part of the film, in an exhibition at Carnegie Hall, which was like the first Afrofuturism festival at Carnegie Hall. So I'm a part of history. Woo, woo. And it was also a part of New York City-wide Afrofuturism Festival. So that's huge. And that opened up a lot of doors for me. And from there, I got connected with Dr. Jazz Gray. She's a professor at Pepperdine University. Pepperdine University said that right and that order. Yes, 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 yeah. Yes, I'm feeling good about myself because I've been through a lot and I'm looking good and I did that. But anyway, so I had two um, Pepperdine University courses taught about like my research and work. And actually, Dr. Jazz Gray students actually created trainings for me about how to make the film, to work with film executives to make film sets and contracts and experience more accessible and inclusive for neurodivergent people, as well as like film schools. Um, because film school graduate 50,000 students each year for maybe 2,000 studio jobs. And the film industry isn't accessible for people who are neurodivergent. But I'm changing that. I'm working on that. And they also created trainings relating to social with neurodivergent creativity and social media, because a lot of times social media is dominated by neurotypical users, and a lot of time neurodivergent content creators are suppressed due to the stigma that comes along with being neurodivergent and the stereotypes that neurotypical and able-bodied people place on us, that makes it think that we are unlikable or strange or hard to deal with. So this is why I'm creating a neurodivergent focused social media production company specifically guides to neurodivergent Black women, to create a safe space for neurodivergent talent, to help provide economic opportunities, exposure, and to build a community based on equality. So basically, like if y'all seen, like I've been tagging all the people, all types of people, I'm just doing in my posts. Well, if you don't know, Blaq Gurl Fya is on a mission to get 1,000 people to become DWAA Brand Ambassador on my Patreon channel. And by becoming a DWAA Brand Ambassador, this will help Blaq Gurl Fya's founder, me, improve my living conditions, which would dramatically improve my health, and improve health would help me, Black, who is also the Blaq Gurl Fya's founder, become more productive and continue to develop the first ever neurodivergent focused social media production company. And so I want to show y'all how to become a brand ambassador and show y'all the different tiers. And the Patreon channel is actually the first step of me creating this social media production company. So my Patreon Patreon channel is called DWAA. And am I saying this? I'm so DWAA because DWAA means disabled with an attitude. I was heavily inspired by the rap group NWA because like my personality very much is and it is and relate to the origins of hip hop with the attitude of NWA blasting on my brain. So this is all about creating the first ever neurodivergent focused digital production company. So I have 6 different tiers that you can choose from. And then the first tier is brand ambassador, and I'm going to read a little bit more. So it basically is Blaq Gurl Fya is a creative experience company that provides a platform for the misunderstood, unheard, and unseen by turning their trauma into artistic healing experiences through sound and movement. Blaq Gurl Fya was founded by Safia Ashe-Jassi, an 18-year-plus traumatic brain injury survivor who relearned how to live a comfortable and successful life in an inaccessible society. Blaq Gurl Fya has the blueprint of producing films from an artistic neurodivergent perspective, has created a disability community beta app, co-authored a disability resource guide, and developed a disability expo to teach the disabled BIPOC community how to use their skills and talents to create opportunities for themselves. Now, Safia Ashe-Jassi and Blaq Gurl Fya need your help in raising funds to develop the first ever neurodivergent focused production company. And this tier is just general support, and I'm using my Patreon channel as a crowdfunding tool to help raise money so I can start hiring people to take Blaq Gurl Fya to the next level so I can create opportunities for Black neurodivergent women talent and working on projects. And so you just, if you interested, you just hit join to join that tier. And so that tier is called Brand Ambassador. And the second tier is called DWAA, because I'm so DWAA Bronze Membership, which is $10 a month. And so basically, your membership pledge of $10 provides you with access to complete challenges to receive discount on Lux Chaos merch and Blaq Gurl Fya services. These challenges serve as the purpose of documenting disability, art, life, and culture through the Black lens, building community through creativity, and the structural foundation of the possibilities of a neurodivergent social media production company. So the benefits of becoming a DWAA member: you will be a part of a movement that's dedicated to disrupting the norm. You will be supporting the creation of terminology, technology, and neurodivergent culture. You will be supporting the advocacy of the superpower of neurodivergent, creative geniusness to be used in the film industry. You will be supporting the disruption of Hollywood by making it more inclusive and accessible for Black women who are neurodivergent and have chronic illness. You will be supporting the documentation of disability, art, life, and culture through the Black lens. You will be supporting the expansion of the idea of disability include physical disability, neurodivergency, and chronic illness equally. You will be supporting the elevation of disability culture to the same level as the LGBTQ culture. So this tier includes exclusive content, challenges, and access to discount offers. And so the next tier is the DWAA Silver membership, which is $25 per month. So basically, your pledge of $25 per month will contribute in turning Blaq Gurl Fya into a social media production company that will be dedicated to highlighting neurodivergent creativity and talent. You will have access to 10 virtual artist talks and panel discussions. The WAS Silver membership includes everything in the Bronze membership. So basically, this tier include ad-free content, exclusive content, challenges, access to discount offers, panel discussion, and artist talks. So the next tier is the DWAA Gold membership, which is $65 per month. So basically, your monthly pledge of $65 includes everything in a silver membership, plus access to film screenings and the opportunity to be featured as a DWAA member of the week because so DWAA, because DWAA is being disabled with an attitude, because we ain't taking nothing from this non-disabled people and neurotypical people, because we taking up space and being bold in who we are. So basically, this tier include ad-free content, exclusive content, social media shout out, challenges, panel discussions and artist talks, access to discount offers, and film screening access. So the next tier is DWAA Platinum membership, which is $150 per month. So basically, your monthly pledge of $150. Wait, what this? Okay, so this one is called the DWAA Platinum membership. Yes. So so this membership also includes everything within the Gold membership, plus access to be featured in film screenings, participation in group discussions, and live Q&A. So basically, this tier includes ad-free content, exclusive content, social media shout out, challenges, access to discount offers, panel discussions, and artist talks, film screening access, live Q&A, live chat, and work included in film screenings. And so the last and final tier is the WA Certified membership. Yes, in that order. So this tier is basically your monthly pledge of $220 includes everything in the platinum membership. You will also receive discount or free admission to Blaq Gurl Fya's physical events, programs. You also will have the privilege to request topics for artist talks and panel discussions, and the ability to have voting rights regarding Blaq Gurl Fya next production or event. So this tier basically includes ad-free content, exclusive content, challenges, access to discount offers, panel discussions and artist talks, film screening access, social media shout out, live Q&A, live chat, work included in film screenings, fan requests, free discounted admission to physical events, and exclusive voting power. So that's basically the WA membership. So yeah, so final words. So my mission of disrupting Hollywood have changed so much within the last year, just from my experience of having the opportunity to work with people out in Hollywood, and that experience where I was overworking myself and overcompensating just to receive scraps and to have my work culturally appropriated by a white disability organization out in Hollywood. So so that led to my goal of making the film industry more inclusive, which included working with like film studios, film festivals, film schools, and whoop the bam to make the film industry more inclusive and accessible. But I've been messaging and emailing people on LinkedIn and via email, but like people ain't responding to my messages. So like I be feeling some type of way, and I'm kind of antsy, and I'm so serious about this mission, and it's like I can't wait for people to give me a opportunity. So now I am disrupting Hollywood by creating my own and creating opportunities for neurodivergent, specifically neurodivergent Black women who are filmmakers and other talent that want to work in the film industry, because like we had like Monique and Viola Davis and Taraji, they all have came out about the injustice that non-disabled Black women continue to experience in Hollywood, which doesn't even include the hardship that disabled Black women have to endure to even enter into Hollywood. And the fact that only 17% of women are a part of like the filmmaking process, that work behind the scenes as writers, executive producers, that work on film crews. And I think about like 2 or 3% are women of color and 8% are disabled, which is a problem. And 95% of on-screen talent in film and television, people who play disability, 95% of them are non-disabled, which is a problem because there are 56 million people in America that are living with disabilities, and 1.2 million people around 1.2 billion people around the world that have a disability. And the fact that only about like 2.9% of like films and television are that representation is for people with disability, not including, like, I don't know what's that percentage of like Black disabled women talent, which is a lot of work that needs to be done. But the percentage of disabled people seen in media is not adding up to the amount of people, disabled people there are in America and around the world. Like the math ain't adding up. So I am doing something about it by creating my own. And I will start by doing this. I'm going to start building my Patreon channel by having like film screening slash artist talk slash live Q&A of like to talk about my old like video art projects, to like really go through like my process, my creative process, and what it's like of how it is to be a filmmaker and to create from the neurodivergent artistic aesthetic and perspective. So I'm going to start doing that. I will be doing my first one next Friday. I will be start making promo material starting next week. I'm very like excited about this, and there's a lot of work coming down the line. And and yeah, and on like July 12th, I will be launching my next campaign called Neurodivergent Black Women Take Off Your Mask. And it's dedicated of like Black women like unmasking. And I also want to like before I log off and let y'all continue. Well, it don't matter. I'm taking up space and I'm being bold and I'm being me. So I want to like highlight the documentary that's coming out called Color of Pain, which will focus on neurodivergent Black women and how their pain have often been silenced due to medical racism and ableism. So that documentary is coming out, and another project I absolutely love her. Miss Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, Erica Alexandra. She will be in a Hulu series um, called Wildfire, which is about a Black girl growing up with two neurodivergent parents. So there is more work. People are creating films and projects on this topic about neurodivergent Black women experience. So I'm doing the work to create the institution and the system and the pipeline to support neurodivergent talent in Hollywood to help to create more economic opportunity and exposure opportunity and to build a community based on equality for neurodivergent Black women and neurodivergent people of different ethnicity and gender. So that's this have been like a mouthful, but that's all like I got, and I'm so excited. This is a new step. I come out of like a lot of depression. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling my best self, and I'm finna make it do what it do. And that's what's up.